Welcome to Dr. Jester Rants, and I'm gonna rant about, well, this. From Dual Shockers, EpicGames Store's Steam competitor ambitions are as good as dead. This is very good news. Well, I would say not so great if Epic actually handled this professionally, like a good company, like a GOG, good old games, or GOG, if you're more popularly known. If they actually competed like a normal company, giving players choices instead of actually strong-arming and forcing developers to release on their platform by giving them a money hat, and sorry about that, and, well, forcing them to be locked out of Steam. And many developers ended up learning that this wasn't a good idea, because the game got less exposition, even though they received a nice little sum of money. But in the end, it seems it wasn't that good, because, well, we can always point out to what happened to Rune 2. It was a relatively interesting game, at least in the concept. But that one didn't work out that well. Right now, you cannot even find it on Steam anymore. Apparently, it's all 100% gone. So there is that. And in the article here, they break down some of the numbers, and it's very interesting how it's coming out. In a year of drastic job cuts in the games industry, occurring through a devastating fusion of a floundering global economy with irresponsible corporate spending, EpicGames claims the ignominious crown. The Games publisher announced last week that it was laying off around 830 employees, representing a 16% downsizing of the company. I read this on PC Gamer. I complained about the actual person who wrote the retarded article, who could not actually explain if 150 or 250 extra people was part of these 800 or not, but apparently it was part of the 800. Anyway, moving on. Even despite them, as mentioned here, having a goddamn fucking Fortnite and propelled Epic to what we see today, it's still not enough to actually save the company. They ended up buying a few games companies who were initially and honestly received and were achieving great success on Steam. Look at you, Fall Guys, and Rocket League. Which in turn, after doing that, they stayed on Steam for a couple of months. Then they were pulled out of Steam and to be exclusive on the retarded EpicGames Store. So they ended up losing even more money. Well, I don't know. I think the developers lost it because they quite frankly could not even be bothered, because the only thing I go on EpicGames Store is through the browser. I get the whatever free game that appetizes me, I claim it, so Epic Games is then forced to give the developer the money, and I don't install their launcher. I use a free one alternative, albeit this time, or the last time I actually used it, it only had command-based system, so I'm not installing that goddamn garbage on my computer. And beyond that, I don't even care about it. And apparently, looking at it, many players decided not to care about it. But before I continue, here's a trailer from my sponsor, which I guarantee to you, it's something that you are going to like it very much.
We are few, we are God's chosen knights. We are born of sin and crime. We are repentance personified. We are immortal, we are legend, we are God's wrath made manifest, and we know no fear.
Right, I'm back, baby. Yeah, baby, yeah. Right. Reading here a few snippets from the article. While they've kept the figures hidden in recent years, we know from court documents in their costly case against Apple that Epic spent over $1 billion in procuring Epic exclusives in the year 2019 and 2020. In 2020, those third-party exclusives only clawed back $250 million of that investment. And basing on this, later on, the author of the article mentions it, that he only purchased games on discount and mostly earlier on the Epic Games Store release. It probably shows that if those 265 million investment increased, it may have increased very little through the years on 2020 and only based on inflation, I believe. We don't know the numbers. Nobody knows them except Epic, but basing on the 2019 and 2020 statements here, it's not looking good, especially after what we saw here with them laying off 830 employees. Even Tim Sweeney actually admitting in the next paragraph here, we've been spending way more than we earn. Growing Fortnite as a metaverse-inspired ecosystem for creators. In retrospect, I can see that this was unrealistic. And in summary, we can expect this 260 million, if it remains the same or more, is very probably related to inflation. It's definitely not looking good for Epic Games, especially because the bread and butter, which was Unreal, and it's not. They could have actually released the game store as they outplanned, created a good competitor against Steam, offered the same features, or at least close to parity in features, and offered probably a discount, or I don't know. Offers some incentive to make the player go there, but for instance, continue with the free games, but don't store lock your games on Epic. Every single game that was released on Epic, I did not, but were not released on Steam, or were later released on Steam. Well, a few exceptions on the later release on Steam. It's just something that I did not bother to get. Anyway. Here it is. Feature-wise, it remains almost as barren as it did 4 years ago. Yeah, I think it took... I think in the last year they actually added the goddamn fucking cart. A shopping cart. Imagine that. You want to purchase 5 games, you actually had to make 5 transactions on a credit card. Congrats, you now managed to make the bank block your credit card because they think it's fraud. Right. Well done, Tim Sweeney. Well done. We none of the community explorability, user-friendly features like in-home streaming. We are one of the reasons they took out user reviews and eventually later down the years added Metacritic is because they decided to listen to the publishers and only publishers who publish crappy games, and they didn't want the reviews to show that. Which is why eventually Epic Games Store became known, when they actually purchased the exclusive deal with the game publisher, as a crappy game store. Why? Simple. Because it was made of crappy games. We had many shitty games that would then be released on Steam, receive bad reviews, and be left at that. On Epic Games Store, we saw that they purchased, the developers received a money hat for the crappy job. They were happy, Epic lost money, users did not care, and they couldn't leave a review, and you know what happened. Anyway, Let's see. Explorability, user-friendly features like in-home streaming, remote plays together, or family sharing that make its competitor Steam far more popular. It's an ugly, flat, uninviting user experience that absolutely does not, nor did it ever, signal that it seriously wants to become a go-to place for PC gamers to rival the chaotic and sordid, I wouldn't call it sordid, by the way, but anyway, yet vibrant and feature-packed platform that is Steam. Yes, whenever I go to check out for games, I usually go to Steam first. It's the go-to platform because they offer a service system. Right now, they are increasing the prices to absurd levels because the publishers think that the online-only games warrants them to increase the prices that they are increasing, even though they are not paying for, I don't know, duplicating CDs, putting labels on CDs, making boxes, game boxes, DVD boxes, plastic manuals, and things like that. Anyway, continuing. Here is something very interesting from the author of the article. I'm someone who currently has 278 games in my Epic library, 8 of which I've paid for. And parenthesis, usually heavily discounted through a combination of sales and generously giving away coupons. Yeah, I never spent a single dime on Epic. All my games in there are, well, literally free games. Here he continues, my purchases were also heavily skewed towards the early years of Epic Games Store, when A, the deals were better, and B, I was giving Epic Games Stores the benefit of the doubt that it might become a viable gaming platform that makes the experience around playing the games I own on it somewhat passable. Turns out none of that came true. And I saw it with the big writing red letters on the big sign that this was going to be an epic failure. And here we are. I'm pretty sure the Epic Games Store is still going to continue for the time being, and it's going to stay like this for the foreseeable future. But how long, I don't know, and how long it will take for them to add some features that we see on Steam, we don't know either. But by the looks of it, it could potentially take quite a while. And on that goddamn fucking hell, have a great fucking night, and remember, fuck you, YouTube. Fuck you.